Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you with another vid. First things first, before I start this video, I gotta say, give a shout out to D-Style Boxing, Santee Walden, and 78 Sports TV, because they actually did a video on this recent news that Bill O'Reilly has been forced out by Fox News amid the sexual harassment allegations that's been brought against him by various different women, and I believe also employees of Fox News. So. Yeah, and I also want to give a shout out to the brother K Black Boxing, man. If you guys don't know who he is, I'm gonna go ahead and post a link to his channel in the description box. Y'all go check it out, subscribe. The brother does know his stuff when it comes to boxing, so got to give a shout out to him. Now I'm gonna do a little video. This video obviously is a very different video. I don't comment on political stuff. I rarely do that. So I thought this video is worth making because this firing of Bill O'Reilly, or you could say his dismissal, his his resignation, whatever you want to call it, it was long overdue. All right. Now, where do I start? Bill is a guy. He is quite intellectual, no doubt about it. He knows his stuff to a degree, but he's a fucking arrogant asshole. He's a prick. Okay, and I just didn't like the way he approached his guests or anybody who disagreed with him. I remember there was a segment after 9/11 where there was one segment that he was hosting a panel of people who were supporting the idea of the war on terror, right, against those who attacked us in 9/11. So there was one individual, I think he was Islamic or something like that. He disagreed with the narrative of going after starting another war against those who committed the atrocities on 9/11 in New York, right? I think the guests favored the idea of going after those who were responsible, but he did not favor the idea of holding a war against a certain group of those who were associates of those who were responsible for 9/11, right? I guess that's what it was. Bill didn't like the idea that this guy didn't advocate for the war on terror, so he cut his mic off during this segment, which was, I thought that was a bit distasteful for Bill to do that, right? But there was one painful segment that I could never forget, and that it really pissed me off when I saw this one, where he treated this kid by the name of Jeremy Glick at the time, when he was a kid at the time, Jeremy Glick. Jeremy Glick lost his father in the 9/11 attacks, okay? Bill was just upset with the kid because he didn't accept the idea that we should go to war against those who were responsible for 9/11. Okay, he felt that something was not right. He felt that there was some parts of the information that the government was withholding from the idea of how these buildings came down, how the 9/11 attacks had started, okay? Bill chastised him, he humiliated him, he bullied him throughout the excitement. He told him to shut up repeatedly many times because he wouldn't allow the kid to speak. He wouldn't allow him to get out his, to assess his opinion on the situation, why he doesn't support the war on terror. I think Bill went as far as to call the kid a disgraceful human being to his country. You're disgracing your father for not supporting the idea to go after those who are responsible for his death, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the segment, he told his producers to cut his mic, and then he had him physically removed from the set. So I thought that was really... and like I said, I thought that really pissed me off, the way how terrible he behaved in that segment, Bill. But none of that. Let's continue. I remember one segment, this dude, I think it was like 2006 or 2007, when he brought on Cameron and Dame Dash onto the show, right? And this dude straight up started the segment talking about, all right, gentlemen, he was talking to Dame Dash and Cameron. He told them that, all right, gentlemen, we're going to have an intellectual conversation. I'm like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean, intellectual conversation? Who the fuck are you talking to, Bill? You treating these guys like they're subhuman, all right? I didn't like that at all, right? But he tried this bully tactics against them, but Cameron and Dame Dash wasn't having it. And when they, came at Bill kind of backed off a little bit because he got a little intimidated when he couldn't get his way with them during the segment. So so he got to taste a little bit of his own medicine when it comes to bullying tactics, whatnot, against those guys. But it is what it is. But there was also another incident where he had brought some guy on who was a representative of Pepsi, right? because Bill started a boycott on Pepsi when Pepsi decided to endorse Ludacris, right? The rapper Ludacris. And Bill O'Reilly at the time, or to this day, he rails against hip hop. I mean, he hasn't really done any hip hop, segments on hip hop in a long time. He railed against hip hop artists like Nas and Ludacris, like I mentioned. He boycotted Pepsi because they endorsed Ludacris. Like I had to repeat myself, right? So in that situation, I think Pepsi was under pressure due to the boycott, and they were forced to drop Ludacris from their endorsement campaign. So eventually he does, he invites the representative on. They have a discussion, right? So they have this discussion about the Ludacris album, and whatnot, and how Bill feels. This is on his radio show, how he felt about Pepsi, going wrong about endorsing him, right? And the Pepsi representative, the spokesman, asked him, is like, okay, did you actually listen to the album of Ludacris? And Bill said, well, yeah, I listened to some parts of it. I was like, okay, what song did you listen to? Because if you're gonna chastise us for endorsing him and giving him full sponsorship, then maybe you should have a full understanding what his album is about, right? And then the spokesman went forward to go on to say, well, this is the reason why you put out you propagandize certain things with like fake journalism just to get your point across, and Bill didn't like that comment, and he kicked the guy off the air. He cut the interview during the middle of the radio segment. But let's continue. I'm dragging on a little bit. Let's continue. There's another comment he made that pissed me the fuck off, where he had went on an interview with somebody. I don't know who he interviewed with, right? Him and Al Sharpton went out, when Al Sharpton invited him to dinner, they had a, dinner discussion or something like that at Sylvia's, a restaurant in Sylvia's over there in Harlem, right? The famed restaurant. And Bill was so surprised how well behaved and well mannered and how professional black people were in the restaurant. That's what he said. And I'm like, okay, motherfucker, really? Really? You had no idea that black people can be very educated, they can be well mannered, they can be very respectful? I mean, this is an indication to me that this guy had disdain for minorities and black people over the years. He never associated with them. He never got close to either one of them. This is the way he actually feels. I'm not calling him a racist, but that just shows to me that he just has the same disdain for minorities and colored people. All right, that's the point. But Jesse Jackson called him, Jesse Jackson Sr., the Reverend, called him out on a live segment about his comments, and obviously there's no way of defending that shit. But back to this whole sexual harassment situation. All right, let me get to the whole deep root of this. Bill should have learned his lesson with the Andrea Macker situation. For those who don't know about that situation, that took place back in 2003, 2004. Okay, that was a big situation where Fox News covered it up. They paid Andrea Macker a settlement on that situation, and it kind of kept things quiet. But Bill just couldn't help himself, could he? Could you? All right, just because you're a guy in power, you bring in all the ratings for your employer, you feel that you could be protected, you could get away with do what the hell you want. But that's not the case, man, because it just goes to show that you can't get away with doing wrong, forever, for the rest of your life. I don't care if you could get away with it. You feel you got away with it for 2 decades, 3 decades, however the case may be, man. Whenever you do wrong, the shit's going to catch up to you. Bottom line. And Bill should have learned his lesson from the Andrea Macker situation. But no, the reason why he didn't learn his lesson, because he's so fucking arrogant. He's such a prick. He's gotten away with a lot of shit for the rest, for the majority of his life, particularly his career. Particularly how he fucking lied about how he was there to witness the JFK assassination. How the hell did Fox News did not suspend him for that falsehood, and he wrote a book about it? What the fuck, man? And Brian Williams got criticized for his falsehoods about his encounter in the Iraq situation. During his time he was in Iraq during the war situation. Brian Williams got criticized by his conservatives for that, but the conservatives did not attack Bill O'Reilly for his falsehoods about the JFK assassination. Ain't that some shit? Wow. Okay, but you know what? Bill was smart enough not to touch up on that issue because he knew people were going to go after him. I think he went after Brian Williams for that, but when the JFK situation came up, he kind of stayed quiet. So, yeah. But it is what it is. It was a long time overdue. He got what he deserved. I have no sympathy for Bill. Where does he go from here? Who's going to hire him? I doubt anybody's going to hire him unless it's going to be a conservative radio outlet. They'll hire him, I think. Or he'll more likely go the Don Imus route. He'll probably go in that status. But, yeah, long overdue. Anyway, let me know what you guys' thoughts on this situation of Bill O'Reilly being dismissed. I'm out. Peace.